her and puns don't get along so well.
I'm starting to have second thoughts. Yeah.
Yes, thumbs down for me, buddy.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down for me.
Okay, so we're technically on the air right now, although we're not really starting the podcast. I'm gonna do some audio testing, so don't say anything about anybody you don't want them to hear.
Sure. Josh is a dick.
Right here.
Glad Stokes isn't here.
Oh.
Just make sure the sounds all right.
So, Magic, you've graduated.
It's not my fault.
I'm quite sure it was, buddy.
You know, all I do is show up to volleyball, and stuff happens.
Well, you guys sound good. Let me see how I sound.
She said it's not my fault. Yeah, see, not my fault. Let's just focus on not my fault.
Sweetness. Everything sounds great for a damn PS4 party chat.
Finished.
All right, we got a couple people trickling in. I'm probably gonna be in. Where do I want to be for this? Oh boy.
Hold up. So have you gone live yet?
So we're on the air. I don't know if we've only got a few listeners, and we may not get many because I haven't tagged anybody yet on Facebook because I don't want to tag people and then be like, in 4 days, you didn't make the league. So I've been really toning down the tags. Costa's been telling me I need to be tagging people more, or he told me I think last time that there wasn't getting enough visibility without the tags, but I just feel like it'd be kind of a dick move to tag people and then not have them make the league.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree.
I get tagged and I don't want to be in the league.
You're going to be in the league, sir. You're going to be in the league.
All right. Let's see here. I'm actually gonna start Luca's sim game. So if anybody is listening right now, which I think we only have like 3 or 4 people, and there will also be this will be an on demand if people miss out. So the sim league about a month ago. Obviously, we all know what's going on with COVID. There's no sports going on unless you consider soccer, golf, like stuff that doesn't really excite most American sports fans. The Sim League was an idea I had where I said, guys, let's all just take a team in a Madden League and we'll let the computer play it out and there'll be a small cash prize. And we are now in week number 10. So for the backdrop of tonight's podcast, we are going to play one of those Sim Leagues games. And let's check on the standings, because I think these are actually 2 really good teams.
How did that loss taste yesterday, Jaguars?
You son of a bitch. I went back and watched the video like, you know what? I was at work too. I was like, you know what? Whatever.
It's just like the Jags regular season.
Hey, listen, buddy. I don't care. We have draft picks. We have youth. You know what? You're not even a fan of O'Brien anyway.
Nah, they got Deshaun now. That's it.
That is literally it.
If I could fire my coach, I would.
All right, so we got the 5-3 Bucks and the 7-2 Cardinals. And this game's kind of neat. That's one reason I chose it is because this is definitely going to have a Madden 21 feel to it because you're going to have DeAndre Hopkins on the Cardinals. You're going to have Tom Brady and Gronk on the Bucks. So it's going to be neat. So we're going to go ahead and get that going in the background. Luca is not on, so he's going to be a little disappointed, but, you know, it is what it is. Let me get this fired up, and then we'll get the podcast rolling.
I'm quite sure he's somewhere rubbing off Nino, excuse me.
Hey, speaking of guys that are getting wifed up, Nino's getting in a pretty serious relationship right now, too.
Wait, what? What's going on?
Everybody's getting hitched, Sham. You got to join the parade.
Hey, listen, buddy. I showed you the picture of the person that potentially could be the missus, and she's not a former stripper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you meet her?
No kidding.
Oh, you son of... You know what? Okay. Okay, Magic. Okay. Oh,
Oh, great. My 5-year-old's out of bed right now. I gotta watch what I'm saying.
we don't.
You
Oh,
guys don't have to
actually, we
watch what
do.
you're saying, but I need to watch what I'm saying.
Yeah, she can't hear us, right?
What did she just do? We're on a podcast, but you can go ahead and tell me.
His kid just woke
Oh
up.
yeah, it's
I was making sure she can't hear us.
people can
She's
hear us, but
5.
it's okay. Say
Oh,
goodnight to Sham and
good
Magic. Say
night.
goodnight, Sham and Magic.
Good night, Tim Magic.
Good night,
Good night.
Lily.
Here, talk to them for a second. Tell me what you did. Say hi. Say hi. Say
uh,
hi.
Hi, Lily.
See, you're
I
just
uh,
smiling.
had a few pair of Jordans. If you want to put
Are
some
they
shoes,
funny? That must be Magic talking because we know Sham's not funny.
I mean, you don't have to do it now, but you do have to do it in the next like 3
Well,
hours.
Magic is actually talking. He's
So,
When I listen to.
so it's only Jordan, Brandon, and Jordan. Or if you go to on on court, maybe on court, you can just speed as advertised.
Splash.
how was your day, Lily?
This does not need to be on the podcast.
Okay, listen. Listen.
Oh, I hear it. Say goodnight to everybody.
Good night.
Good
Good night, Lily.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
All right, good night. Thank you for the story. You guys entertaining everybody?
Who, us?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
All right, so this game's getting started. Sham is now posting pictures of his girlfriend in our group chat on Facebook, so everything is going as planned. Um, all right, so guys, AFL 21, we're back. Who would have thunk it?
I had a feeling it was coming back.
Well, it may have been partly your idea.
Yeah, just plant little seeds, buddy. Just plant little seeds.
All right, so everybody knows we took a year off with AFL. A lot of that we talk about is the dad life effect. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the dad life effect, it's basically the simplest way to put it is a lot of us became dads. But on top of that, when we all met back in 2010, we were all at different points in our life. Imagine that in 2020, we're in different points than 2010. Most of us were either in college, finishing up college. Sham had just had his first grandchild. So it was like we were all in this different point. And now, as we are juggling families, professional jobs, commitments that require us to take care of them, it's not as easy to say, hey, every 24, 48 hours we're going to play Madden. Some of us still do, but not all of us can. So we actually took the last year off. AFL did not exist last year. And I think it was good. I think a lot of people got to breathe, got to have football season to be their own. But it's July. It's July. It was June a little bit ago, and we came up with this decision that the Madden itch is coming back, and it's just a shame that the thing that's holding us back from enjoying Madden is the fact that it's too much of a time commitment. And Sham and I were playing golf on PS4 one night, and he's like, "Yeah, it's too bad we don't have a league where we could just have, longer advances and a more relaxed setting." And it was just kind of a light bulb went off, like, why can't we? Why can't we create a dad life league? Why do we have to play by the old, oh, if we don't advance every 48 hours, we're just not worthy of a Madden league? So the thought process here is we're going to advance every Tuesday and Saturday. And I don't care if every game gets played on Tuesday, we are not advancing again until Saturday. The reason for this is twofold. One, I want you guys to enjoy your kids, enjoy your jobs, enjoy your games that you play outside of Madden, whether it's Magic playing 2K right now, whether it's Costa and JD playing Warzone, whatever it is, I want you guys to enjoy that. And I want you to know that every Saturday we're going to advance. And what this also does is it allows you to plan ahead. You know, when you have a family, you do things like take trips together, you go out of town, or you just have a period where you don't feel like turning on Madden for a week. So what you could do here is say, okay, I know we're going to advance on Saturday. So if I play my game on Tuesday, and then I go ahead and contact my next opponent and say, hey, can we play Monday night the next week? Because I know that's where our window is going to be. You could legitimately have 6 days off in a row from Madden. And I think that's much needed for a group of guys that when we met 10 years ago, we were all hardcore, hopping in chat, playing Madden till our eyes were red, going to work the next day, barely with any energy, and we were keeping each other awake by hanging out in chat all day, to being guys that have lives outside of this, and it's going to put Madden back into that hobby category for us. Still a very competitive league because a lot of us still take the game very serious, and a lot of us are still going to be in leagues that have the more frequent advances. But I think it gives an opportunity for a more casual setting. The games will still be important, but the games will not be as demanding. So that's kind of where I want to start. And Madden has never been your number one game. I think people know that you join AFL more so for the group of guys that we have. You know, I know Stokes is there, and that takes away from your enjoyment, but you deal with it. But when I presented this, first of all, I think if I had told you 6 months ago, hey Magic, I'm going to come up with an idea for AFL 21 that you're actually going to be enticed by, you would have called me a liar. But when I presented this to you, you didn't say no right away, and that was eye-opening for me.
I yeah, sorry. Yeah, the uh, the advances were definitely an issue for me because it was just great. I have to play more Madden. I have to set up more time dealing with these people and their schedules and their nonsense. But having set scheduled days to advance are a big help, and lets me know that like you said, we can plan way ahead and and not have to worry about talking to someone on a Monday, and then if we have a 24-hour advance, now I have to play another game on a Tuesday by Thursday. And sometimes you get to 4 games in a week, and it's like this is a lot of time playing a game that's not very good. So
Yeah, I mean that's the truth. And there have been times in the past that Madden hasn't been very good. And I'm at a point in my life where there's just not many games I want to play every single night like I have to. Um, but I am going to be in a league that advances a little more frequently. I'm also going to be in an AFL that's going to be a lot more casual. But we're still going to do the things that made AFL different. The podcast. Now, what we're talking on tonight is PS4 Party Chat. The reason for that is twofold. One, I wanted to be able to knock out one of these AFL sim games and just give us a backdrop because what we're not going to do tonight. If you're hanging out with us tonight, we're not going to announce our 32 owners tonight. That happens early next week. We're not going to get into how team selection is going to work. That's going to happen on that podcast next week. If you notice, it's just Sham and Magic and I. So Stokes is out of town traveling. Wasn't able
Stokes and
to
Bone.
wasn't able to join us because he didn't have his PS4 headset with him. RVD, another guy in a similar situation where his free time has gone from, hey, I can play Madden every night to, hey, I can play Madden maybe a couple times a week. He's got basically a teenage kid now that stays up late on his PlayStation at night, so he can't join us because his son Sean is out there dominating in the Fortnite streets. So it's going to be Sham and Magic and night tonight. Some other guys may hop in with questions or whatever, but what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about why we're back. We've already talked about that a little bit. What to expect from AFL and Madden 21, and then I also want to get into the franchise news or lack of news that came out a couple days ago by EA that really discouraged some people in our circle, and I want to tell you why you shouldn't be discouraged by it, but why I do think it was a fail on the part of EA in general. So we'll get into all that, and then anything else that's on your mind. Sham may tell us about how his dating life is going. Magic apparently is married now. I didn't realize that.
Whoa,
Ooh, yeah, buddy.
whoa, that's a whoa.
But for the guys that have been with us since Madden 21, or I'm sorry, since Madden 11, there's going to be some familiar faces that show up in Madden 21 that you have not heard from in a while. I'm talking about guys like Westside Charles. talking about guys like Goof. When I tell you that we have been trying to look under every stone to try to find these guys that for whatever reason were great owners at one point in time, and then it just seemed like they couldn't stick it out because it was too much of a grind, we wanted to open the door back to them and be like, hey, this is what we've set up. I know that your life has changed, but you were a great owner. You were a foundation of AFL at a point in time. Does this sound like something you'd be interested in? And Sham has been on the recruiting trail. Costa, I don't want to say who Costa is working on right now, but it is a big fish from AFL's past. I don't want to say it on the podcast just yet, but Costa's been grinding away at this guy, messaging me daily what the updates are. He's been on the recruiting trail. Trump, the guy that ran Madden City that a lot of us were in back in Madden 11, he's in for Madden 21. I mean, I know this isn't
Oh yeah.
an owner reveal show, but you guys know what I'm saying. Um, I'm probably if I mention their name on this show, you can figure they're in. But then a lot of the guys we've picked up along the way, guys like Reese, guys like we're not going to go too much more into that. I don't. um, but then, there have been guys that have said no. Matt Vane said this was not something he would be interested in. He said realistically he's going to get PS5, and he probably didn't see himself really caring too much about Madden on PS4. T-Mag told me today that he really wants AFL 21 to succeed, and he just doesn't know if his heart is in it. And I love the honesty there. I would much rather somebody right now tell me that they're worried that they're not going to be into it versus go through team selection, make a bunch of trades, play a game or two, and then be like, yeah, I'm not good here. So we're reaching out, we're trying to find people, and that's where we're at. So I guess going forward, Sham, this really was I want to say your idea. What was it about the whole let's get the gang back together that really appealed to you?
Well, before I even get into that, I'm kind of sad that there will be no more Reese and T-Mag battles. But, one can only dream. Anyway, nah, it's just, it was just really weird, like every year. Well, I mean, especially towards the end where, we just, a lot of just weren't the same faces. And so, like, even I took a year off and I kind of suck, but I took a year off from that.
Kinda.
Okay,
Oh,
chill.
sorry, I thought I was muted. Go ahead.
But, yeah, it's just missing the guys and actually taking a year off was actually good. I think I was the only person that hadn't taken a break from Madden since we had started the leagues. And Josh, I hate you so bad. Um,
Don't be mad at me. That's Magic laughing with his wife.
wow. Okay. Anyway,
My wife's
No,
asleep.
they can't see you, but they can definitely hear you.
no, but
We're
no,
gonna
but it
interview her
was
later, by the way, everybody.
no, but it was just kind of just missing the guys and just seeing some of the conversations that were going on about Matt, again, it was just really missing again, like you said, all the old faces and stuff like that. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
All right, so I don't want to give the off-season outline just yet. I think that's better for next week, if especially if Stokes is on, um, to tell you guys who made the top 32. Because unfortunately, I hate this part of it. I really do. We are going to have to turn some friends away. It's only a 32-man league. We're trying to build the best league we can with the guys that we really think are going to stick it out. Another thing we're trying to do. Um, there's a league called PS4 ran by Mike Lara. He is just an absolute amazing commissioner. What they do over there, in a lot of ways, it reminds me of when AFL and Madden City were going. Is there's a lot of crossover between the leagues. The rules are very similar. PS4 is one of those leagues that it does advance at a much more rapid 24, 48-hour rate. I think it's a 48-hour advanced league, but they tend to advance closer to like every 36 hours. It's intense. Um, we are going to try, at least in the offset, to limit the crossover between the two leagues. And the thought process there is very simple. If we had 20 guys that were in PS4 in our league, that just limits the amount of guys we could pull from PS4 if we need new owners, or it limits the amount of guys that they could pull from us if they need new owners. And I think what it does for us if we have a more expanded roster is, for one, it just it gives each league more people to pull from. It gives us a bigger talent pool. It creates a larger community, and it also it's going to eliminate any confusion because while the leagues are going to be very similar in the rules that we have set up, may be very different in the advances, and I think that's going to be very helpful. Now there are going to be some guys from PS4 that make it. Danny, obviously, Joker is one of the AFL originals. I mean, he might be on the Mount Rushmore of AFL. Lara actually has put his name into the hat. So there are some guys from PS4 who are obviously going to be in. It's not going to be a clean 32, but there's not going to be as much of a crossover there as some might be expecting. Um, but the reason I wanted to bring up PS4 is now I'm trying to remember why I was trying to bring them up, and I can't remember now. I don't know.
Because you're
Oh,
getting old.
they no kidding. They switched to Discord last year, and when they did that, my old self was like, wait, what am I supposed to do here? I don't understand Discord. I barely understand how to work my phone. And then I got there, and the similarities between Discord and the old Zat chat were very alarming at first. And I'm like, man, wow, these guys are going to really hang out and chat all day and talk about Madden. But it's so much more than that. It's, yes, if you want to hang out and chat all day, by all means, do it. Most of us are at the point of our lives where that's just not feasible and it's not something we want to do. But it is an open chat. But what Discord does that is so much of a better alternative than Facebook is it creates organized sections where you can go down like here's where our trade boards are, here's our rules, here's where we're going to post updates when we advance. And instead of going to Facebook and it's every single post just happens to be what the last one that was commented on, and if you weren't on Facebook 6 hours until 6 hours ago, you may have missed six different posts, and it's chaos trying to figure out what you missed. Discord keeps everything organized. It's a one-stop shop. I know it might seem a little daunting at first, like, oh, I don't want to have to learn something else. I really feel like Discord is a huge win for Madden. And if I'm saying that as a 37-year-old dude that doesn't like to learn new things at all, I promise you, you will be fine with Discord. Sham, you're probably the oldest guy I know. You don't seem intimidated by Discord. Are you? What are you thinking about it as you've ventured into the Discord area?
You son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I'm at work so early in the morning, I have, like I'll take my MacBook with me, so I'll have time to fiddle around with it. And it seems, uh, outside of the web page that Ridge had set up for us, I think this is probably the best option we've ever had to, in terms of communicating with each other since then. So, yeah, pretty solid.
The other thing that Discord offers is they have the text channels, which are the chat rooms, the things that work as basically message boards that are set up more as like a chat room format where you can post things. They also have audio channels. So what we're doing tonight, that we're doing over PS4 Party Chat, we can actually do that. Discord audio channel will work as like a Skype server, only you don't have to have Skype on your computer anymore, or an app on your phone. You just go through the Discord server and you can add anybody that's in chat to your conversation. So it really can be like, hey, we're having a podcast right now and we're talking shit about Stokes, and Stokes wants to hop on real quick and defend himself. Boom. And then, oh, we're talking about Stang, and Stang wants to hop in and say something. So, it can be, it gives us a lot more fluid. Now, one thing that I do want to say is once we get rolling here, our podcasts are not going to be over party chat. They are going to be over a screen capture device. OBS, I think is what it's called. And that will allow me to either use the chat as a background or do something that we did in Madden 19, which I think was very popular. It was called AFL Game of the Week, where we would capture another game that was going on at that point, and it was like a primetime game. And whoever wanted to, I think mainly it was Stokes, Magic, myself, RVD would hop in. Sham, you may have done a couple. We would actually go on there and commentate the game. But while that was going, we would also talk about things going on with the league. But we gave it a real primetime feel. We'd pause at halftime and break down some of the big plays. And it's stuff that is available to you when you're not in a hurry to advance as fast as possible. You can actually, it's almost a quality over quantity kind of thing. Instead of let's see how fast we can advance, how many games we can get in, it's let's enjoy the ride. Let's try to recreate some things that they do in the NFL. Let's have highlight shows. Let's stop and focus on certain rivalries and games that are going on. I think Discord gives us so much of that, that I really think guys need to embrace it. I know there's a certain segment of AFLers that are just like, no, I want to stay on Facebook, and that's fine for Madden 21, but I do think the future of AFL is going to be on Discord, so the sooner you embrace it, the better. Um, that's probably all I really need to say about that. Do you guys want to talk about what you missed in Madden 20 since neither one of you played the game?
No.
No?
Yeah, yeah. Like you know what? I saw a lot of the competitions and stuff, like, and it was horrible. Like I didn't. There was nothing I liked about that I saw that made me even want to go out and purchase 20. Like at first, I was kind of like, you know, do I want to go? Like, am I missing out? But once I saw the videos, I was like, yeah, no, okay, I'm good.
Was it because the game was so run heavy, or was it because of the abilities?
I thought the abilities were overpowered. Like I think I mentioned to you about Aaron Donald and how after a while it was just like okay. Like I think it was the video where I saw him have like 5 sacks before the half.
Hmm.
I'm a D-line user, and that kind of that, and that still turned me off. So
Well, we can talk about the abilities because the abilities are something that if you didn't play Madden 20, you may not understand what they are. The biggest thing that I could um, draw the comparison to Magic in 2K, is it called patches? Is that what they are? Or the badges? Badges, right? You get
Takeover?
yeah, you get takeover, but then you get like the gold badges and all that stuff for your play, like catch and shoot and that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Those are your badges.
And then
Badges.
takeover is when your player gets hot, he basically becomes unstoppable, right?
hold up, guys, 1 second. Say hi
Yeah.
to Danny. I read his wife is listening.
Oh, hi,
Reggie's
Danny.
Hey Danny, thanks for letting him play with us next year. We really appreciate it.
This is fine. This is right time.
Now, I don't need to introduce myself because I'm sure Danny, if you've listened to any podcast, I'm Josh. I'm the funny one. I'm the one that always makes the jokes and entertains everybody. Magic is the player. He's the one that talks about all of his rendezvous with every girl that has a boyfriend, although it appears that he's settled down now and found a girl
Whoa.
that has captured his heart. And then Sham is
Whoa.
the creepy one that reaches out to all of AFL females and DMs them all the time. So if he gets on your nerves, Danny, just let me know and I'll keep him away from you.
Oh my God, she hasn't messaged me back yet. So, but I'm,
Oh.
I'm sure she's laughing. I'm sure she's laughing.
So the abilities in Madden. So for those of us that have been around for the longest time that didn't play Madden, for those of you that didn't play Madden 20, you probably were used to a franchise environment where everything you did to build up a player or a team was attribute based. You know, whether it's finesse move and power move for defensive linemen or zone coverage, man coverage for a cornerback. You guys know all the ratings. Speed is a big one. Throw power, throw accuracy, short, medium, deep. Okay, that stuff is still in the game and I think still holds a level of importance. What the abilities did, very similar to 2K with the badges, is especially on so let me back up. When you and I'm telling this not at an expert level. I think maybe when Stokes is on or RVD's on, they can maybe even go into it on a bigger or deeper dive onto it. Every player in the game has a developmental rating. It's either normal, which is the lowest, star, which is essentially like the average. What they did was they took out slow because I think that people were insulted by, hey, why am I slow development? So normal is the new slow. Um, Normal, star, superstar, and superstar X factor. Okay, so with that as a basis, superstars and up are the only guys in the game that get abilities. And these abilities you get them when you get to okay, in Madden 20 it was when you get to 80 overall you get your 80 overall ability and when you get to 90 overall you get your 90 overall ability. And then I think next year for Madden they talked about that it's going to switch to 85 and 90. But I don't want to convolute the conversation too much. I don't want to make your head spin. But essentially, superstars and up are the only ones that get abilities. Superstar X factors are the guys that, like Magic said, when a player gets in the zone in 2K, I can't think of what it's called now. But
Takeover.
it's yeah, takeover. They basically have the takeover abilities where you do something to activate it, and like a wide receiver gets moss, and it's takeover. And then I don't know all the specifics, but like as long as you don't get an incomplete pass that's directed for that receiver, he basically becomes an unstoppable force at wide receiver, where even if he's double teamed, he's going to come down with the ball. The biggest time I noticed that early in the game is when a defensive lineman was a superstar X factor, and say he got a sack or two early in the game, and all of these X factors, it actually, let me see real quick. We're playing a game right here, so let me can I look at rosters? No, I can't.
So
Um,
Magic. So how long have you guys been while Josh is doing it? How long have you guys been dealing?
What's that? You cut out.
I said since Josh is looking up the rosters or whatever he's looking up, how long have you guys been dealing?
It's a good question. Hi. Nothing.
it's a good question. You're
I,
not gonna get an answer to. So apparently, I am not able to see the
I was looking at you.
X factor. So once we get out of this game here,
Okay.
we are going to, I'll show you an example, but essentially each player has a player card that explains what their takeover is, or their superstar X factor. And say with Von Miller, this probably isn't exactly what it is, but if he gets a sack, all of a sudden his is activated, and then the defense has to, or the offense has to gain a certain amount of yards to get him deactivated. But I'm telling you, when he's activated, you see a flashing star under him, and you better
Mhm.
double team him because he is going to block your offensive lineman like he's not even there. Um, oh, Danny just messaged me and said there's an X Factor menu in the pause menu. So let's see if I can find that. I don't even know if these two teams would even have anybody with X Factor. Oh God, did I
This
just ruin this?
should have one, shouldn't he?
Oh yeah, good call here. Why? I'm pretty sure I just froze the game up.
I wonder if Chark has one.
Chark.
Yes. I
All
said it.
right. I
Look at
apologize
that.
for the Bucks. I'm taking a delay a game here apparently. Um,
Hold up, Magic. Aren't you a Colts fan?
No, man. Once we lost Peyton and then Luck, I was like, what? What's left here?
Yeah, he's
okay.
a bluff.
Here we go. Thank you, Danny. So
Eli
this is the
Hilton? No.
X Factor menu. So DeAndre Hopkins has Superstar X Factor called Double Me, and when this is activated, it wins aggressive catches versus single coverage. So um, let's see if we can get more into this.
Aggressive cat versus.
So to get it activated, you have to make 20-yard catches, 20 plus yard catches. So if right off the bat you throw a 20-yard pass to Hopkins, and then you throw another 20-yard pass to Hopkins and he catches it, boom, it's activated. And then it's activated until you hit the fail, which here is its amount of consecutive passes that go with him not being targeted. But at that point in time, the offense and the defense can see that he's activated. So when that happens, you better double team him, or else he is going to catch everything that is on him. So all of these are very well explained. I don't want to look, guys. What I'm There's not going to be a test tomorrow on all of these X factors. That don't worry about it. The game will come out. You'll be able to learn them all, figure out what the good ones are, the bad ones are. It's all very simple. But what I'm telling you is the attributes as we knew them are still important, but they aren't the end all be all anymore. A 99 speed wide receiver is all well and good, but a superstar with abilities and a superstar X factor with X factor is way more important. Now let me expound on that a little bit. Um, Let me get this game simmed again. Um, I think my understanding is while the X factors are cool and they do make for some very interesting like moments, I think they go away quick enough that they don't affect the game as much as the actual abilities that the superstars have. The superstar abilities are things that allow quarterbacks to run faster behind the line of scrimmage, wide receivers to run sharper routes. Magic, you're a passer, you're like this. Certain quarterbacks have more hot routes available to them, like they can audible
Oh,
to posts and slant and goes and things like that, where not all quarterbacks can do that. Running backs like Kamara and McCaffrey have more hot routes available to them, like the Texas route that goes out and up because they're pass catching backs. There's one. This one just seems cheesy as hell. I noticed Russell Wilson has it, where it's like a blitz identifier, where you can see who who on the defense is legitimately blitzing on the play. Like you just press the
Wow.
button and it shows you who's blitzing. And so the quarterbacks that have those things are obviously the ones that you want to get. And it's cool because it makes superstar players feel more important. And I think that was always one of my biggest gripes in Madden was like, okay, I understand that Larry Fitzgerald is really damn good at football. But in Madden 12, give me Deshaun Jackson because speed is everything, right? Like Larry Fitzgerald's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Deshaun Jackson is a really good player, but nobody's going to say Deshaun Jackson's a better player than Larry Fitzgerald. Give me Deshaun Jackson in Madden though because speed is everything. In this game, Larry Fitzgerald feels like Larry Fitzgerald. He's gonna not this current version of Larry Fitzgerald. Like he's not a superstar, but you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying. Like the slower guy, but is still a beast on the field. Calais Campbell, Sham, your old guy, is a beast. Um, Guys that speed isn't everything. It's about like do they have double me? Do the big receiver Michael Thomas on the Saints is probably a perfect example of a guy that 5 years ago would be just hard to trade and get good value for. And this year you could trade him for anything you want because of the things he can do. Why are they kicking a field goal from the 50-yard line? The things you can do with him on different post routes. There's a thing called post flag elite that Stefan Diggs has where you just run a super sharp cut on a post route. There's a thing called jukebox that running backs have, and you're like, it gives them a sharper juke, and you're like, oh, who cares about that? Until the second you use a running back that has jukebox and you hit it and it makes the defenders look absolutely silly, and you're like, I'm never playing with a running back that doesn't have jukebox. Okay, so that is what the abilities are. I think they are a good addition to Madden because it makes Madden more about just speed. What happened in Madden 20? And I am not at all railing on PS4. I was in the franchise. I want to be in that franchise next year. But what happened is they went 12 seasons last year, okay? So wrap your mind around that. AFL at its best went 7 seasons. They went 12 seasons. A lot of that is COVID related because everybody was quarantined inside. They just wrapped up a couple weeks ago. When they got into their 12th season, as you can imagine, everybody on everybody's roster was basically superstar and above for the most part. I mean, you have guys that aren't paying attention to their teams and their teams were shitty, but like Joker and Two Ton, guys like that, they had built up their roster to where they had superstars across the board. And it became like playing NFL Blitz, where there was just too many freaky alien type players out there that unless you had superstars all over your defense, you didn't have a chance to compete. And it became oh shit, this guy has double me activated, so I got to double team him. But wait, this guy over here has jukebox, so I got to make sure I have 9 guys in the box. And wait, this guy over here is activated, and this quarterback has 99 speed. And it's like, holy fuck, I'm not even playing football anymore. I'm playing like chess and not like smart chess. It's like I have to know like the magic game genie code to stop this. And it became overwhelming. One, I would say it was the first year of abilities. PS4 did the smart thing for a league that went 12 seasons. Think about that. They allowed certain things like editing your player to essentially give yourself a chance at different abilities that were more OP. Two, going 12 seasons gives you a way bigger opportunity to make your roster more cheesy. That's not going to happen in AFL. Not going to happen in PS4 either. Like Lara, learned from some of the mistakes they made, and I think he has some fixes in mind. But if you think about us advancing every Tuesday and Saturday, logistically, there's no way we're going to go 12 seasons. We're going to be lucky to go 5. I think 4 is probably the magic number. And I don't think by year 4 you're going to be at a point where I think each team will probably have a handful of superstars. The really good teams with the really good GMs may have close to 10, 5 on each side of the ball, and that will feel kind of daunting, but it's nothing where you just feel completely overwhelmed by it. And I think there is a conversation to be had. because as commissioners we can turn off the abilities. If I had to vote right now, I would vote that we don't do that. And I would say that's because if you turn off the abilities, you're back to speed being the only thing in Madden that matters. And I think the abilities are good because it makes the best players the best players. If you trade Michael Thomas, you're going to get a king's ransom. If the Saints traded Michael Thomas tomorrow in real life, they'd get a king's ransom. The Eagles could probably trade Deshaun Jackson tomorrow for a fourth round pick. I don't know. So I like them, but I think it's like anything. You got to make sure they don't turn it into AFL arcade, and I don't think that's going to happen. What have are you guys thinking after hearing everything I just said? Hopefully, it's not you're just confused.
Magic.
Yeah, I'll go first. The way that you break it down like that makes it more appealing to keep them on. I didn't know that you could turn them off and not have them all. Um, but from what very little of Madden I had paid attention to, which was mostly just even Stokes, it seemed like it was something that just completely broke the game. Now, granted, maybe that's because I was hearing scores of Joker beating people 77-3. Um, but you couple that with just he's got all these people with all these abilities, and what do you do? And I watch a stream, and it's just there's nothing you can do. It's just stupid animations. That's typical Madden stuff. It's like why, what's the point of these things? But I also agree that it's better than having people just go out and get the fastest person, and it's like it doesn't matter because the AI can't keep up with just pure speed, and there's no other way to differentiate good players from bums who are fast. So I don't know is what I would say.
Yeah, and I think another thing that goes into it is we talk about Joker's super team in PS4, and he wasn't the only one with a super team, by the way. He was just probably the best player that had a super team. You give a good player a super team, you give that same super team to somebody that doesn't know what they're. You give it to Roman, and he's not going to beat Nino in a Super Bowl 77-3 or whatever it was. But what happened is the first year with abilities, half the league had no idea what the good abilities were, right? So um, when you're building your player, there are certain, and I don't want to get too into this. It'd be so much better if I could click on a player and show you this, but there are certain archetypes for each position. Okay, so let's just focus right now on wide receiver. For a wide receiver, you get this rookie wide receiver you drafted in the first round, right? Let's say he comes in, he's a vertical receiver, so he has speed. He has all the attributes you all are used to. He's got speed, route running, everything you want. It's all there. But as you progress him, progression isn't what it used to be in Madden, where you get XP and then you can just say, "Oh, I'm going to give him some speed points," and you just toss it onto speed. Speed is 20,000 points. Boom, I'm going to buy some speed. No, it's not how it works. What you do is there's like three or four different buckets for a player. There's you can throw it into a vertical receiver, a possession receiver, and I'm just making up the next two because I don't feel like being perfect. Like a route running receiver, you get the idea, and maybe like a slot receiver. So you draft a guy and he might be coming into the league, he might be a possession receiver, but in your mind you're thinking, wait a minute, the coolest abilities are the ones that I know are at the end of the rainbow of the vertical receiver. So instead of pumping all of his stuff into possession receiver because that's what he is when he's drafted, you start pumping all this stuff into the vertical stuff. It might slow his progression initially because he had a head start on being a good possession receiver, but once he hits that 80-90 threshold, he's going to be in line for the vertical stuff. So again, this is a long way of saying guys like Joker, Two Ton, MVP, Danny, they figured out what the good abilities were, how to build your team, and they had a distinct advantage over the guys that probably were just sitting there like hitting random buckets or just been like, oh, he's a possession receiver. Let me make him a better possession receiver. That advantage is going to go away in year two because more people are going to know. For the guys that were gone last year, we are going to do our best to educate you on what was OP in Madden 20. It may not be OP in Madden 21, but we'll do our best to educate you on everything as far as how progressions goes, what abilities were OP. But really, a lot of that comes from just like go to Madden Reddit, figure out what people are saying are the OP ones, and you know how it is on the internet. People say something's OP. It may not even be OP. Do what you think sounds cool. They're all explained. Some of them you don't even have to really like get on the Madden Reddit to figure out. Just read them, see what they say. If this guy's ability is he gets to he's a quarterback that gets extra audibles or extra hot routes. I mean that's pretty sweet. So that's what you'd go for. So um, that's a long way of saying that Joker, Danny, MVP, guys that knew what they were doing, knew how to build their team, so they got a head start in that regard. They're good at the game, so they got more stats, so they got more XP in that regard. There was some obvious spamming going on, but they were in season 12 and they were just looking for anything to keep themselves entertained, so they got more XP in that regard. And that's just how it led to a mess of what felt like the Monstars from Space Jam going against each other. But I think where I sit now, I'd love to wait till maybe Stokes and RVD can weigh in on a podcast and we'll take a straw poll of the league. I think ability should stay on because I think it gives the superstars a superstar feel. And when you're building a team and you progress your player from a star to a superstar, it is such a good feeling. It's such a good feeling because along the way of your season, like let's say you take I'm trying to think of a good example. Let's say you take the Bills, my team. Okay, Josh Allen's probably going to start off as a star. If you remember what I said earlier, it's normal, star, superstar, and then superstar X factor. Josh Allen's probably going to start off as a star. If you take the Bills, say like week 7 rolls around, you may get what's called a developmental game. And this is, hey, this is your chance with Josh Allen to bump up in the development grade. What you have to do is you have to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's just an arbitrary thing. I don't know what the exact statistical thing is. So in your next game, you know if you hit that stat threshold, you bump up a development. So as you can imagine, yes, you want to win the game, but you definitely want to hit that development goal because that is so huge as far as getting more XP, getting abilities. Because as you go up in development, you get more XP too. And some guys get frustrated, like, well, why are you spamming your player? Because I had a development game and I want my player to advance faster. So it's little victories inside of the bigger thing that I think make it more fun. Um, that's about it, though. That's
Yeah.
that's that's. I mean, it's fun.
I
What do
mean,
you
just
think?
I mean, just I mean, just off of based off of. I'm just going based off of what you said without Stokes or well Jimmy and RVD's input. I would say leave the abilities on. Just leave them on. Why not?
All right. So next week we're gonna have the podcast where we narrow down the 32 owners. We're going to also talk about the timeline for team selection and how team selection is going to work. We're not going to get into any of that tonight, but we have some fun things planned that are going to make it interesting if you want one of those top tier teams. I'm going to leave it at that, but it's going to be interesting if you want to get your hands on a Patrick Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson. You're going to have to be willing to take a little bit of a risk to do that, and I look forward to rolling that out for you guys. But last thing I want to talk about on this podcast was there was a update from EA that was released a couple days ago and included a franchise update. Did either one of you guys happen to read that?
I did, actually.
What were your initial thoughts on it?
They didn't do anything.
Yes. And
Um,
oh, go ahead.
it was kind of a lot of these PlayStation 4 updates we get that are like, oh, improve stability, you know, and then it's like, well, I didn't realize it was unstable, but thanks, I guess we did something, I suppose.
Yeah, it read like patch notes, right?
Yeah, and that's not what you want from allegedly a new game and not just a roster update.
Sham, did you happen to read any of the franchise stuff?
I was going to, but then it pissed me off, so I said no.
Okay. So I'm not going to go through and read it. It is very annoying. But I will say it was very insulting. It was okay to give you an idea of how little they did to improve franchise. You would okay anybody that's taken any kind of design class or PR class, your top bullet point needs to be your best bullet point, and like the big thing you want to highlight. The second bullet point they had was we added an extra wild card to each conference, just like the NFL has. Wow.
Good stuff.
So the NFL game that's based on the NFL is going to be like the NFL playoff format. Ooh, that's exciting. Um, what else did they say? They said it's just so frustrating what there was nothing as far as like restricted free agents. There compensatory picks, the wish list that people have wanted from forever, more in-depth scouting, hiring coaching staffs, relocating teams, nothing like that. It was all super arbitrary. Now I almost feel like I want to pull it up now just because of how bad it is. Um, oh, it said the first one. This just reminded me. The first one. So like the first update they did was more of a Madden gameplay one, and they introduced some new abilities. So the first one for franchise was all the new abilities that are in Madden are going to be available in franchise. Oh, so you're telling me that the stuff that comes with playing Madden is going to be in my franchise. Okay, cool. Like, I'm surprised one of the updates was all your players are going to get helmets for every game. Like, come on. See, you get where they're going here. And the franchise community was obviously pissed. And people were voicing their disapproval. EA doesn't care about franchise mode. EA ignores franchise mode. The game is all about MUT. MUT is the cash cow. EA, to their credit, came out today and actually apologized. And they're like, look, we hear your frustration. We have some things in the works. We understand where you're coming from. We're working on it. I give them a lot of credit for that. They could have easily just kept ignoring it. And like anything, when there's outrage, if you ignore it for long enough, it goes away because people just can't stay outraged about something without getting a response for too long before they just move on to something else. Um, okay, so everything about what they said was very true. It was a slap in the face to anybody that plays simulation Madden franchise. Um, Let me say this though. I think that incorrectly bled into what we do. And I know it did because I came into PS4 Discord chat that day and people were freaking out like they don't care about us. They don't care about franchise. I can't believe they would do this to us. Classic EA, all that stuff. And it's the same stuff you see on Twitter and everything. Guys, this doesn't it's not online franchise to be upset about. Yes, I realize connected franchise mode is basically carbon copied from online to offline. That is not an online issue. That's an offline issue. When they carbon copied it and made it all one connected franchise, all they did is stripped away the cool stuff from the offline franchise and just gave you what you get in an online franchise. In an online franchise and offline, you get a salary cap, you get a draft, an interactive draft, you get trades, you get free agency, you get a great server. Try playing an NBA 2K league or an MLB league and tell me when you try to click into a game and it takes you 10 minutes to do so, and then complain about EA's dedication to franchise. Um, I think for an online franchise situation, EA has it pretty on point. The things that people are upset about from an offline franchise are negated in the online world. They're mad about the fact that um, the computer teams will cut a second round pick because he's only 68 overall, and their entire roster logic is based on overall. So we're going to cut the 21-year-old second round pick that's 68 overall to keep this bum 34 offensive lineman that's 69 overall. That that's one thing that doesn't happen in online franchise because the user is running the team. The When they switched over to Frostbite Engine, geez, I want to say a couple years ago. That was like 7 years ago. What they did was they took a first-person shooter engine and threw it onto a sports game. Well, the Frostbite engine doesn't have any logic with play calling. What it is if you ever go to create a playbook, you'll notice you can like favorite plays like these are going to be my first down plays, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star. These are going to be my second down plays, yada yada yada, third down plays. When you're playing against a computer team in Madden, all they are doing is going off of the default star ratings of those plays. They don't care how much time's left on the clock. They don't care what the score is. They don't care about game situations whatsoever. The computer it's just a roll of the dice. This play has a 5-star on this down, this distance, boom, we're going to run it. That's why when there's 10 seconds left and the computer is down by 3 on the 50-yard line and it's first and 10, they'll hand it off and run up the middle and run the game out because they don't know any better. We've seen that time and time again in this AFL simulation league. If you're an offline player that just wants to play a computer franchise against computer teams, that's super disheartening. That doesn't happen in online franchise. Um, Trade logic, free agency logic. The team that has Green Bay in the background, the stuff you don't see, they give that team, oh, we prioritize quarterback. Quarterback is super important. So the team that has Aaron Rodgers will go out and they'll sign Patrick Mahomes in free agency because they prioritize quarterback. What are you doing? You have Aaron Rodgers. Why are you signing Patrick Mahomes? So it's stuff like that that really gets to the offline franchise guys that it just doesn't bleed into our world. Our world is 32 users. We run our own teams. We call our own plays. We make our own trades. And quite frankly, the stuff that would be cool, if I'm sitting down to play an offline franchise against the computer, give me every extra thing you can get to make it interesting. Give me restricted free agency. Give me advanced scouting. Let me hire my coaching staff. Let me talk to the press. Let me listen to radio shows. Let me do whatever you want to make it interesting and fun. When you're in an online franchise, it's a competition. I don't want an hour's worth of shit to do in between games. I don't want to have to go scout scouting staffs and spend an hour scouting rookies and, go talk to agencies about advertisements for my games and worry about setting the price of hot dogs for my games to compete with other teams. And, I don't need. I just dedicated 45 minutes to playing my friend Magic and Madden. I don't need an hour to improve my players' abilities, scout rookies, hire coaches, fire coaches, advertise it. Like, no. Like, then it becomes AFL Sim City. And that's just no thank you. So I think I understand why the online franchise world felt the burden of it because that word franchise is in there, but this is an offline franchise problem. This is the guy, or girl that just wants to control their team, have fun playing the computer. That experience is dead right now. It's just dead. It really is. I don't know how anybody has any fun with it, um, but that's not us. Like our world is fine. Yes, there's more they could do to online franchise if you really wanted to get picky about it. I think Laura has brought up some good points to me about, yeah, they could add some commish controls where maybe you could reset game results or take away XP from certain players um, if they spam a player. Like that would be cool, but you don't have it and you can live with it. Everything they don't have an online franchise for Madden, you can live with. But if you take away the 31 other users, online franchise is pretty dull, So that's where I'm at. What do you guys think about basically? I'll start with you, Magic. I know you read the blog and I know you saw how much of a slap in the face it was, but does it make sense what I'm saying about the differentiation between online and offline franchise experience?
Yeah, and I think some of the stuff you're describing though, like fell into that owner mode, which I don't know if they still have or not. But like restricted free agency, that would be nice. Um, shit. Um, Commission controls, those would be nice because how many times over the years has it come up? Oh, so and so did this. Well, we can't really fix the wrong. So now we have a fest for 3 weeks about this,
Mm-hmm.
or years later, and someone will bring it up in some sort of situation. Like it's quality of life kind of stuff. It's not exactly game necessary stuff. In terms of on the field stuff, that's a Madden thing. That's not a franchise thing. Um, so it's like under the hood stuff that we're kind of lacking. Um, but I I don't know. I wasn't I wasn't surprised, and I'm surprised that anyone is still surprised. It's not we've been saying this since Madden was on PS3. Oh my God, they didn't do anything. Oh my God, they took this away. Oh my God, how could they do this to us? What do you mean? We keep buying the game. That's how they can do it to us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to bitch and moan when you like supply your abuser.
Yeah.
um, so it is what it is, and we're gonna get the game again. We're gonna have another AFL, and we'll deal with what we can deal with. Um, yeah.
Well,
For comparison's sake, Sham, and I'll get to you in a second.
mm,
Sports games wise, NHL doesn't have an online franchise. Now, I've heard that their offline franchise is way better than Madden, so I'll give them credit for that. They don't have an online franchise. Um, MLB The Show does not have an online franchise. They have an online league that doesn't carry over from year to year. So basically, you play
No.
your league, you have a World Series, and then everybody resets. So take that for what it is. NBA 2K has an amazing online franchise with an amazingly shitty server behind it. Like the things you can do in 2K in their online franchise, I mean, it is the true sports experience until you realize it takes you 10 minutes to do anything.
Yeah,
Um,
the server is hit or miss. You know,
mhm.
you can disconnect from the same person 3 times, be like, all right, fuck it. Anyone else want to play? And then you immediately connect with this other person. It's like, well, I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
And
the free
but
agency in 2K where, because that's the other thing is like an online franchise, the player is going to take the most money. There's no like consideration of Florida state taxes and yada yada yada. And again, are these deal breakers? No. And do you really want a situation where the team that happened, the guy that happened to pick the Florida team has a built-in advantage? But it is stuff that exists in pro sports. If you're watching the screen right now, the right end or the left end for the Cardinals has his X factor activated, and you can see the X under him, so that's how you can tell that he's in the zone. Um, uh, NBA, it's like they have the most brilliant idea, but then they don't have the server to back it up. I love what NBA tries to implement into their game. It's so much fun from the scouting to I'm just trying to remember everything you can do in 2K. The free agency, how you have the
uh,
different waves of the free agent period, and then the negotiating, and then players will sign based on reasons outside of money, like the and that's cool. But then it takes you 10 minutes to simulate a game, and it just makes you want to gouge your eyes out. So it's a give and take. All in all, what we get from a Madden franchise online experience, I think the word should the description is good enough. Like it's good enough with a good group of 32 guys who all know each other, have fun playing their friends, and can create an outside narrative around it by doing things like podcasts, shows like this. Just being in chat and being like, "Ah, my running back has 200 more yards than your running back." Well, so what? You never throw the ball. My wide receiver has, that kind of stuff. Like the rivalries that you can't have in an offline chise happen just between guys like Reese and T Mag arguing, and then they play, and it feels like a bigger game. We get that stuff. Sham, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I like all I was going to say was I really wasn't surprised because this is like we go through this every year. We've been going through this since like what 11. So really wasn't I really wasn't interested in reading the blog or even like looking at the video. Even the video, like almost every year, even when Rex was at the helm, we would it's kind of like the same spiel. So I I'd love to get a sneak peek on what they have planned for 22. So you know those are just my thoughts.
Laura brought up a good point today in chat today, and a lot of you guys may not even know who he is if you're older AFL guys, but he's the commissioner of PS4. Um, this year, if any year you were going to give EA kind of a pass, this kind of feels like the year to do it. They built the game basically while in quarantine. They also have one eye on the PS5 release. It just felt like everything was aligning for this game to truly be that roster update that everybody jokes about. But this year, especially for the PS4 console release, it does feel like it's going to be a roster update with some tweaks, like a really good patch. You're getting a new Madden, but I don't think anybody rightfully should have expected that Madden 21 for PS4 was going to be like a Madden that we all look back on 10 years from now and be like, that was when Madden was Madden. I think it's just a continuation. Let's get through let's get through the next gen release. Let's get through quarantine, and let's just get another Madden out there. So I think when you take all that into consideration, none of that should be surprising. I feel awful for the offline franchise guys though, the guys who still play that mode. I honestly don't touch that mode, but it's how I got into Madden. Sham Magic. I don't know about you as much. I don't. Did you play Madden much before you met us on
oh yeah, man.
AFL?
First Madden was Madden '02, little Marshall on the cover.
Okay. And Sham, I know you're like me. You probably were a Madden lifer even as a kid, so you probably lost a lot of hours of your youth playing those offline franchise modes before playing online was even a thing. So if that's the case, I'm assuming it is, you're always going to have a soft spot in your heart for those offline franchise modes where it really felt like, man, I'm living the NFL experience. And it's a shame that in 20 years it's regressed so much, especially when you look at things that were in the game. I mean, it's not even like, and again, this rant is just about offline. It's not even like we're asking them to put new things in the game. Just keep the things in the game that you had before. At one point in time, you had restricted free agency. You had they did finally add the fifth round option, by the way, or the fifth year option for first round picks, which is kind of cool last year. Um, they had a radio show. Um, they had training camp where you could build players up that way. It's just a shame. I totally understand the frustration of the offline guys. So we've been on the air now for a while. Do you guys have anything on your mind you want to get to before we get out of here?
Magic in his new situation. I mean, not so new, but hey, new to
What?
everybody else.
You want to put her on, Magic?
What? I'm going through a tunnel. I didn't hear what you guys said.
Do you have any fatherly advice you want to give him, Sham?
Uh, Hold up. You have something? You're expecting magic?
No, man, don't get out of here.
No, I mean advice from him, like he's your son, like father to son for being in a serious relationship. Do you have any advice for him?
Wow, I am that old. Hopefully you didn't meet her in a strip club.
I did not.
Hopefully you didn't take her from someone else.
Well,
No,
Defi-
no,
define take.
Wow.
no. No. I was. You want to come talk to them?
I mean, are you a rebound magic? Are you in a rebound situation?
What was that?
Are you in a rebound situation?
I don't think so.
Wow.
What?
You want to talk to her?
Yes.
Okay. You want to talk?
Are you
No,
ready
she
for
doesn't
this,
want to
Sham?
talk.
I can't believe that. What is not appealing about talking to two random gamers that you've never met in your life?
Yeah, she doesn't want to talk. I can relay questions though. See if she answers.
Sham.
Uh, what do you find? Listen. Do you find his overeating uh sexy?
You find my overeating sexy? No.
Sham,
See that, I guess.
Sham, I'm surprised you haven't given him your favorite motto of advice that you give everybody when they get into a new relationship.
Um, no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
you know what Sham's favorite advice is when you get into a new relationship, Magic?
Mm-mm.
Remember this. If assholes weren't meant to be eaten, they wouldn't be between two buns.
Wow, wow, wow. This, wow. This.
You want to hear his advice for new relationships? If assholes weren't meant to be eaten, they wouldn't be between two buns.
Is she leaving?
No, she can't leave. She's not wearing pants.
Wow, wow.
And
Hey,
you're talking to us?
wow.
Like I appreciate the compliment, Magic, but
We
yeah.
well, I actually forgot about this, so I mistimed things, and we finished right before you sent a message asking if we were all good.
Oh,
Wow.
speaking of finishing, I need to share this with you guys. Okay. Yes, I know your mind is like, wait, where's he going with this? Okay. So a nice little secret between you two and whoever's listening. So Jackie and I are in the process of, trying for another kid. But, that can be a long process, and I wouldn't say anything is imminent right now, but whatever. The other day, we're working from home because of quarantine, and she's like, hey, Lily's kind of distracted. Do you think we can? And I'm like, I don't know. I got a meeting that starts in 7 minutes. And this little asshole, my wife said, so that gives you time to shower after too. And Sham, I haven't figured out why, but I'm blaming you for that comment. I think you guys talking is turning her into a bigger smartass.
Hey, listen. She's paying a lot more attention to my memes. So hey, I, hey, buddy.
That's
She Sham, your Facebook wall is legit. There are so many times I hear her cracking up in the other room, and she obviously can't like certain posts because she's a teacher and things pop up like Jackie liked this, and it's. But I'm telling you, the stuff she likes is only about 10% of the stuff that makes her crack up.
Well, she did message. She did comment. Like today, like I had sent her something on Instagram, and she said it made her day.
Mm,
So hey, whatever I can do, buddy. Hey,
there you go.
whatever I can do. Whatever I can do.
So what's going on with the Minnesota girl?
Hey, going to see her next Saturday. I'll be
Hmm.
out there. I'll be flying back on Sunday. Spend a day with her. Working for the airline. We have those perks. So yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's different because she's not here, so there's not like a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Um,
It's harder for her to get tired of you if you're not actually around.
that's very true. That's very true, Magic.
Yeah,
And
that's what works
yeah,
for me.
hey, listen. And we're actually the same age. So,
Hmm. Does she
Oh,
have
okay.
grandkids?
oh, you son of a bitch. Hey, she looks very good for her age, though. So
Yeah, she does.
Yes.
but nah, she's really cool. She's a banker. So, and at first I was like, "You're not a teller, are you?" And she was like, "No, asshole." But she works. She's an executive somewhere, and I don't ask too many questions. Um, like in terms of her job, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to set her up or something like that. So, um, yeah, it's just real cool. It's real cool. So, I might actually be taking in a Packers Vikings game. She's a big Vikings fan. I might be taking in a game in September. So,
If they
on
allow
that,
Oh,
fans. Hopefully they allow fans to go to these games.
yeah, yeah. So the tickets are pretty inexpensive, surprisingly. So, if it goes, even if I don't like, just to kind of be in the area, the bars or something like that, just to kind of depict just the experience would be really cool. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So I guess it's kind of serious.
Yeah. Did you tell her the soda joke?
No, Josh.
No? Okay. No.
No.
It's always a good
what's
icebreaker when you get up there.
Oh boy. No, 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 no,
what's
no.
the soda joke?
Magic, you know what the largest soda in the world is, right?
No, I don't.
Minnesota.
Oh,
I'm
Like,
quite sure that
that joke is a panty dropper joke.
I'm quite sure it isn't.
Yeah.
yeah, that's not good at all.
But she's from Minnesota, Magic.
Oh, see that was the context that I already had.
Hmm.
I'm really excited for next week though to kind of go through the owners and I guess I don't think that. Oh, actually, we're still airing, but whatever. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about the owners, figuring out who the owners are and stuff like that.
You don't want to give any hot takes on the air about who's getting left out?
Hopefully, Magic.
Stokes.
I mean, honestly, I don't. Lara gave me his report card from PS4, and it was pretty disappointing. I think it's time that Stokes needs to find a different league.
Hey, listen, he was golfing. Hmm.
Yeah, he was golfing. I think he's probably getting pretty good at it too. I mean, he's right next to the ball with his height, so that's pretty good.
His form looks like Charles Barkley's. I doubt it.
Ouch. Poor Stokes.
But that's it. That's it from me, guys.
You
I'm
guys
all
think they're
tapped
going to
out.
get this NFL season in? I'm becoming more pessimistic by the day.
No, I don't.
I
Especially
mean,
after the Zeke Elliott situation. I doubt it because
uh,
I doubt he's the only one that's been partying and on that like that. I doubt he's the only one. So
yeah.
I read something tonight that they're trying to find face masks or face or helmets basically that have basically built-in masks in them that would help prevent the transfer of a virus. And like, does it need to be said? Like, I would be depressed if there was no football season. I love football. We all love football. But at some point, it's just like, is it worth it? It doesn't feel like it is to me. And then this whole thing with the NBA, are they still talking about everybody going down to Florida?
yep.
Oh yeah, that's That's gonna happen.
They were
It's
talking about another city too, actually.
That just seems crazy to me. So you have guys who a lot of them are probably married with kids. Like it's not like the NBA season where maybe you live in Philadelphia and it's like, all right, guys, we're gonna go do a road trip. We're gonna play the Lakers and the Clippers and the Kings, and then we'll be back in 7 days. Like NBA wives, and they sign up for that. And hey, I'll be back in 3 months. Or if you guys want to come with me down to Florida, which by the way is having like the worst outbreak of any state right now, you can come with me. Or if not, I'll be back in 3 months. That just sounds terrible. And then you factor in some of the, you know, breaking news, a good majority of the NBA players happen to be black, and there is a little bit of social issues going on right now where, a black dad may not feel super comfortable just abandoning his family for 3 months to go play in a basketball tournament for a league that should have ended weeks ago. None of it makes sense to me. I don't understand why they're trying to force the issue outside of money.
Yeah, it's almost like with the college players. The college players are like, they can't. I mean, I don't know what type of monies they were talking about with the college players, but it's, they want them to play, but they're still trying to force them to play now. And the guys are like, they can't even give us some type of stipend um, for us to play. It's just, for them, they don't want them to play because they don't want to lose any money, television money and, things of that nature. So, I mean, other than there is no other way around it but money.
And I understand that the data shows that for the most part, young, healthy people are gonna be fine. There are exceptions, so it's not like you can just say, "Oh, they're young, they're healthy, they're gonna be fine." This could cause long-term effects. The problem is nobody really knows anything. It's kind of a new virus, and we don't even have a vaccine for it. But like, okay, NFL teams, "Oh, you guys are gonna be fine." Okay, but unless you're old or overweight. Okay, so what are we going to do with Bill Belichick and Andy Reid? We just going to say bye to them if they get it? Because I'm pretty sure they're going to be out there too. So none of it makes sense. It feels like one of those things that unless we get a vaccine, I don't see how it really happens.
No, no, I agree. Just even being at work every day, you see how, uh, I guess liberal like people are. Like they're just so free in a sense. Um, and it's scary. Like I lost somebody that's I've known for 20 years, and even my job, like they were just kind of slow to react. Some people haven't even gotten. They knew they got sick. They didn't even force them to go. Tell them to require them to go get tested.
Yeah.
Stay out for 2 weeks and come back to work.
Mm.
Wow.
Shit like that. And when again I work for a multi-billion-dollar company, and you would think that and they pride themselves, quote unquote, in customer service and quality and things of that nature, but they don't take care of their workers, like just the way that you would think that they would.
Yeah, it's a new
So
normal out there. People are losing their
so
jobs. It's scary. It's scary for the economy. It's scary for people that are considered high risk. I don't know. Sucks.
yeah.
But hey,
So
we got an owner reveal show next week,
hey, yeah, I'm excited about that.
and we don't have to violate social distance to do a Madden League. So that's the good news.
Well, Magic is doing a little violating tonight.
Hmm. Pretty sure they've been quarantined together for a while now, huh?
Magic.
Um,
Has
we
she
we have we have been seeing each other during the quarantine. Yes.
Hmm.
been spiking balls? Magic.
No, she's very gentle with the ball. She was a setter. She was a setter. That's why.
Uh,
She's a libero now.
Okay.
so Magic, is she officially your girlfriend?
Like, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
S-
Wow. Wow.
Does that mean that Sham and I can friend request her on Facebook?
No.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
When are we going to get that green light?
Um, it's a good question. We'll see. We'll see.
I would like you to
I think
ask
at
her
some point.
that.
She doesn't have an answer for that question.
No? She doesn't find us nearly as amusing as we find ourselves.
Well, she also can't hear you guys, so
Hmm.
Mm.
she does. She knows those shams posts,
Oh,
Oh.
legendary.
Hey.
the dirty memes that I sent you. Yeah, she's nodding her head. They are funny.
The crazy part is, like, I had my boss, one of my coworkers told my boss, about my post, and I'm like, people just need to laugh. You know,
Hmm.
there's so much going on right now. People just need to laugh. So
One, one
even if it's even if it's at the risk of getting blocked on or shut down on, by Zuckerberg, for a couple or a couple of hours or a couple of days, people just need to laugh. So
Zuckerberg's got other things to worry about right now.
yeah, very true,
well, Marky Mark.
very true. But I'm glad that I make somebody else that I don't know. Hey, she's laughing.
There you go.
Maybe I can send her a friend request soon.
She doesn't have Facebook. That's why I have to send it to her.
That is a lie.
Mm, right. But I'm quite sure if Josh did some research, he'd find her.
Oh, no research needed, Sham. I am looking at the page right now.
Mm.
Uh,
I'm looking at Magic's page actually and wondering why there's no relationship status shown.
Mm.
I think it's
Hmm.
time we end this call.
It's just getting good.
Uh, it's late for you guys. You spend all your time awake. You're gonna not have any time, to live. Old folks.
I've lived
Oh, the
enough.
joke is that they're decrepit.
Wow.
Okay. She doesn't know that you guys are ancient.
Wow.
So does she
Magic.
realize that you're doing like a podcast right now, or does she think you're just talking to us on party chat?
I don't know. Do you think this is like a no? I think I told her we had a podcast, so she
And
knows it's not just party chat.
I remember the first time I told Jackie that we were doing Madden
No,
podcasts.
no. I think we're still live on the podcast.
Ask her if she wants to be interviewed.
Okay, the real question is, can you hear me being excited about the wheelie on the podcast?
They could hear you.
The wheelie? What happened with the wheelie?
What's up with the wheelie,
That's
Magic?
not what it sounds like. The wheelie is not something that us young people are doing.
Are you guys watching like the Tour de France or something?
No, it was we were
I
playing
bet you.
2K and my dude has a bike and she was doing wheelies.
Oh, I thought Magic was probably spinning her around. Never mind. Anyway.
I
2K
mean,
has
she is small
bikes?
enough I can spin her around, but yeah, if you get good enough, you can buy vehicles and stuff. And
Okay, we get it, humble bragger. You're good.
I mean, I am.
Is she good at 2K?
No, she's very bad at video games. Like the simplest of video games, she's pretty bad at.
Yay! I'm okay with the Lego one.
Oh yeah, we've been playing Lego Ninjago. She's all right at that one. Made for kids, but still.
Hey!
Wow.
What?
Ouch.
What?
I just got arrested.
It's hard for her to walk in a straight line, which
Wow.
kind of important in games.
Dude,
And this is somebody you're sleeping with?
they don't
That's
do a lot of
really
sleeping,
insane.
Sham.
Thank you, Josh.
So that's a
This
no.
is someone
That's a
you're
no
sleeping
for the interview.
with. Do you want to be interviewed? That's a
For
no.
the podcast? No.
Yeah, she said no.
Oh, she sucks.
No. Tell her it's not what she thinks. It's 100% intrusive, and we're gonna get into all of her personal business.
Any questions about you?
Questions about me. Maybe some questions about you.
No, they'd
Maybe
all
the
be about
two of
her.
us together. Oh, they'd all be about her. No questions about me.
We don't care about you.
They don't care about me. They've known me for a decade now. Yeah.
I think that you've already told
Probably
She,
not.
she may have deleted her Facebook. I can't seem to find it on here.
Huh, look at that.
Son of a bitch.
Wait a
Magic,
minute.
We're gonna find her.
I just remembered her name. I'm gonna see if I can. Nope.
Yeah, it's hard to find her page when you don't remember her name.
Yeah. Let's just say her Facebook page isn't bad.
Ah, yes, I see what you did there.
Eh.
Ah,
You bastards.
I approve of her, Sham. I actually
you
have
know
the
what
whole
color?
time.
Yeah,
She needs to get rid of some of these old photos, though.
yeah, some of those. He's stalking your Facebook. So we're talking about you said you need to get some of those rid of some of those old photos, especially the ones with the bangs.
Yeah.
No.
She's aware that was a bad phase.
No,
Oh,
that's not at all what I'm saying.
I know.
oh, that's what I'm saying. I told
No,
her.
I would never say that. What I'm saying is she needs to get rid of some of the old photos that contain certain people that
Wait, so you found me?
aren't important anymore.
Yeah, I mean he's seen you before, so it was just a matter of him remembering how to find it in our.
Now she wants to
Finding.
talk to me, right? Now she wants to know why I know who she is.
What's so funny? She's cracking up, and I'm not sure why.
I make people laugh even when they can't hear what I'm saying.
Well, maybe
Are
she's
you laughing?
Maybe she's laughing at Magic's. Never mind. Oh, never mind.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. She won't tell me. I'm gonna take away her snacks.
No.
Man, she is made for you.
Oh god. No, she eats like a little small amount, but then she has snacks throughout the day. I don't get this small amount part.
Magic. Nobody's as greedy as you.
It's not that I'm greedy, it's that I'm a growing boy, Sham.
You're growing.
No one asked you, Alex. Go back to reading. Are we done?
Ew.
Are we done?
No, we're not. No, it's just getting good. It's just getting good. Magic will be getting good later.
Yeah. This, you guys were my warm up.
So, Magic in the future, is she still gonna be good, or is that not gonna be the case anymore?
It's hard to say.
Hmm.
Hard to say.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Okay.
uh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm still pretty green at this.
It's terrible.
Hmm. This is what she's missing. This is what she's missing out on. Don't worry, Sham. When we get off here, I'll share the page with you. Actually, maybe I won't, because Sham will probably friend request her.
No, I won't. No, no. Out of respect for Magic and yeah, I don't. I won't.
Oh, I didn't tell you guys the breakthrough I had with Nino. Like, we're full-on friends now, and he's got a serious girlfriend, and he warned her that I would be friend requesting her, which I haven't yet. And he's like, "Don't worry, he's a good dude."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Sleuthing.
Look at me and Nino just friending it up.
Yeah, you guys. Shit, finally, your love of the Buffalo Bills has expanded to loving each other.
I don't think Luca's gonna like that.
Hey,
Stepping in as man.
I think all these guys have the beta, and I have not been so lucky.
Yeah, I wasn't lucky today either. I know they got it last week.
Are you saying you're the alpha, or do you mean an actual game data?
Oh, the game beta.
Oh, okay.
Oh god. So, how long has this situation been going on, Magic?
Hmm.
We started the naked back in September.
Hmm.
What are you laughing at? Your book? Me? What? What's September?
I'll periodically I'll ask some more questions.
Hmm.
You know, I'll let you live right now.
Sneak them in there. Like a.
I know you hear me, Magic.
What was that? I didn't hear you.
You son of a bitch. I bet
All
you
right.
if I had some chicken, you would. Never mind.
Dude.
Wait, you have food?
See,
What do you-
right. Oh god. So yeah, I guess that's it, guys.
Yeah, we'll let Magic live. We don't want to get him into trouble with A-bomb. I just didn't want to say her name over the airwaves.
Appreciate that.
Yup.
What do you?
But anytime she wants to be a special guest on the podcast and be interviewed by yours truly, I am happy to do so. I don't even have to be live. I just have plenty of questions.
Well, okay, I'll let her know.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to be interviewed, Josh is willing to do it. I don't know. He said he's got plenty of questions though, and it doesn't have to be live.
I'm just nosy.
He's just nosy. Come with some questions for him. He doesn't know you.
Are you
I mean,
kidding me? You haven't told her about me?
I mean, she could always ask.
She knows some generic stuff about you, like our time machine and stuff.
Oh my God. Sham, she doesn't know the difference between me and Stokes. Like, she just knows that I'm like one of the dudes in our private chat. And the other one,
What?
the other one shows up like every 2 weeks, and he's like, "Hey, that's just how I do, Playboy." It's like,
Oh god.
They can do what it do.
make it do what it do. Man, relationship Stokes bailed on us so fast. Like, he used to be in that time machine every day, and now I mean, I know he's online because I see him and his girlfriend just like giving each other love upon love upon love on Facebook. But he'll go 2 weeks without being in our chat, and then all of a sudden you start getting these messages that he's ha and stuff you said 2 weeks ago. And then he'll comment on something he said 2 weeks ago. He's like, "Yeah, man, I don't know why the Patriots defense was so bad." And it's like, "What the? It's football season's been over for 3 weeks, dude."
Oh God. I'm just happy our boy's happy.
I am
That's
too.
funny.
She
That's funny
seems
as
like a
shit though.
really, really good girl. She actually messaged me. I commented on one of Magic, you'll appreciate this. She made some lasagna, and I was like, "That
Oh, I
looks."
like lasagna. Alex makes lasagna all the time.
Oh, I'm gonna take a note. I'm gonna ask her about that
He's gonna ask you about lasagna now.
lasagna.
Going on his list.
Oh wait, Michelle approves. Oh, RVD's wife approves of Stokes's girlfriend.
Nice.
Does Michelle approve of Magic's girlfriend? Because I do.
The world may never know.
But yeah, she sent me the recipe in PM, and I don't know if you guys know
Cool.
this, but like a recipe isn't. It wasn't like she gave me a picture. She typed the whole thing out, and that was a lot of typing. So I was like, she is a winner.
Wow. I would never.
I
And I
mean,
mean,
just because she
she
wakes
hang.
up to
Yeah, go ahead.
no, just because she wakes up to that face every day. Hey, listen.
I
And that voice. Oh, sweet Jesus. I know you're listening. I know you're listening, Jimmy.
How do you think? How do you think he propositions everything? He's like, "Hey, you want to make it do what it do?"
Ew.
Play girl.
Oh.
What if Stokes is like the rare person who just acts like a dork on the internet, but he's like really cool in real life?
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, I can't imagine that either.
Like all this stuff about being obsessed with um, anime or whatever is just a front.
He's a fan of Vegeta. I doubt it.
He's a good dude. Just in
Hey,
case they're
Dara.
listening, I had to say that. Let's see. All right. Well, it doesn't appear that we're going to get the Alex interview done tonight, so that'll be on the docket for next week.
All right, she won't be here next week.
Why? Where's she going?
What's that got to do with anything?
He wants to do the interview, so he said we'll do it next week, but you won't be here next week.
I'm gonna just stop recording.
Is that all
She
it
said
takes?
she said just stop recording.
Psh. See you later, AFL.